Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, before I get to my main topic, which is going to be how some Fudds in Georgia are holding the constitutional carry bill hostage to try to make profit. Before I get to that, I want to talk about why some people in Washington are panicking right now and why they should not be panicking. Well, the reason they're panicking is because Senate Bill 5078 has been put to its second reading on the House floor. It's already passed the Senate, and now it's up for a vote in the House. And a lot of people are freaking out because they're like, that means it's done, the bill is here, it's passing, it's going to be sent to the governor. Well, one of the reasons you shouldn't be panicking, to go over the reasons why, the main one is because panic gets us nowhere. We don't make progress through panic. We make mistakes when we panic, and we do things that turns public sentiment against us. So let's not panic. Another reason why we shouldn't be panicking right now is just because it's gone to its second reading doesn't mean it's a done deal. They only really had till Friday to get it read, and they had to do it quickly. If they hadn't have done it, they did it with 1 day to spare, would have been a done deal that it was dead. And they weren't going to let that happen. The fact that it hasn't come out sooner means they're not sure they have the votes. So I'm not panicking, because here's one thing that can happen. One, they can just vote on it tonight and pass it, which could happen. By the time you see this, it could be passed in the state of Washington. Or they could do like the Senate did once it came to the second reading and came up for a vote. They could pass amendments, and then the bill would have to be approved and reread, maybe a substitute bill placed in with all the amendments. And then it would have to be read again. It took like 2 weeks in the Senate. They only have a couple of days in the House. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I wouldn't panic yet. Even if it gets voted on tonight and passed, I still wouldn't panic because that's not a good idea strategy-wise. But another reason why I'm not panicking is I am trusting in the work done by the Washington Civil Rights Association. I have seen them put in more work than the NRA, the GOA, the SAF, the LGBTQ. No matter what your acronym is, the Civil Rights Association of Washington has put more work and money into actually fighting the fight than any of those other organizations combined. And I'm having a little bit of faith in the fact that the things that they've done have made a lot of Democratic House members really reluctant to vote for this, but their arms are being twisted really hard right now by the pro-Bloombergs and the Attorney General in the state of Washington. So I am cautiously optimistic, but like I say, I am still optimistic. We will see. Like I said, by the time you see this, could already be voted on, or it could be starting a process that isn't going to get finished before this is all over. But either way, the best thing you could do right now, if you're interested in this and you want to get up-to-date information, is go to Washington Civil Rights Association's Discord. Still don't know what that is, but apparently it's important. I'll put a link to it in the upper corner of this video here, or it might be, not sure what side it's on. But I'll also put a link in the description below so you can go over and stay up to date. But I just wanted to mention that the bill has moved on to its second reading. It can be voted on any minute, or it can go through the same process it went through in the Senate, which would slow it down. And like I said, I'm not sure they have enough votes. I don't think they were sure they had enough votes either, at least not until today. Maybe they twisted some arms today. We'll see. But that's what's going on. That's why a lot of people are panicking, and that's why I think panic is the last thing we need right now. All right, everybody, with that being said, I want to move on to my main topic. As many of you may know, there is a constitutional carry bill making its way through the legislature in Georgia. Now, I fully support constitutional carry. I don't think it should have to be a law. It shouldn't have to be passed anywhere because the Constitution basically grants it. But I'm always happy when I see a state pass constitutional carry, like my home state of West Virginia. But I also want to point out here how some supposed gun supporters, pro-gun people, who are pro-gun but not pro-Second Amendment apparently because they're Fudds, will stand in the way of progress. And it's all about money. Just like when Springfield Armory was more than happy to pass anti-gun laws, work with the state they were in to pass anti-gun laws that would destroy their competition, exempt them, and raise their profits. When money gets involved, principles get tossed aside. Profit overrides progress or principle. That's why I keep money out of my channel. I know I'm weak. If money started flowing heavy, I'd do whatever it took to keep the money flowing, not to do what I think is right, because I know my weaknesses. But in the state of Georgia right now, a bunch of people have got together who are supposedly pro-2A and said, we support constitutional carry, but we have to add a requirement for training to it. And why are they asking for that? Well, so they can profit off of it, of course. One of these people is a guy named Hamp Dowling, who, surprise, owns a gun range and training course for handgun safety. One of the people that would really benefit from this type of law, because if everybody who wants to carry has to go get training, well, they're going to have to go to guys like him and pay them. You know, right now, maybe 1 out of 100 goes and gets training. I'd say that's a generous estimate of gun owners. And now it'd be to be 100% who want to carry their guns, which would probably be at least 10% of people buy guns. So that's a 10-time profit increase. So, and I'm fudging these numbers, just making them up just to give you an example. These aren't exact, could be better or worse than what I'm saying. But you get the picture. They want to put this in there because it will profit them. It's an attack on the Second Amendment. It's saying that you as a citizen can't be trusted to own a gun unless you've been trained by a professional. That plays into the hands of anti-gunners more than most any other FUD argument. I hate when they do that whole, you got to have training if you want to be able to work a gun. And they actually played even further into their hands by using the same argument the anti-gunners use. You got to get a license to drive a car, so you should have to have a license to operate a gun, which is basically what this is. Saying that if you're going to carry your gun out in public, you have to have a license to operate. You have to have been trained. And that's a stupid analogy, because everyone knows that operating a car is both more difficult, more complicated, and far more dangerous than carrying a gun. Driving a car on public streets is a bigger danger to everyone involved than someone walking around with a gun on their hip that they probably won't touch all day. People are using that car near people. People are crossing the street. There's people on the sidewalks. They're driving at high rates of speed on the highway. That's just danger, danger, danger constantly. Concealed carry presents very little danger to anybody. And in the few cases where there's accidents, the danger is usually only presented to the person carrying it. Usually. So that whole analogy is ridiculous, and the fact that some pro-2A people are using it to try to increase their own profits just goes to show what FUDs they are. Now, I don't remember the name of the company that Hamp Dowling owns, but I would hope nobody goes there. That would be my own hope. I'm not a cancel culture person, but I know I wouldn't buy anything from there. You do you, but I wouldn't buy anything from there. Simply because of this ridiculous argument, because sometimes it's not the anti-gunners that are the biggest harm to the pro-gun movement. Sometimes it's the pro-gun people who aren't actually pro-2A because they don't really stand by the Second Amendment. They're just pro-gun because they make their money from guns. These guys put profit above progress or principle, and they are sometimes the worst enemies of the Second Amendment, and we need to start calling these people out, holding them accountable, and making them suffer, as far as I'm concerned. When you do stuff like this and you own a business and gun people who actually believe in the Second Amendment decide not to go to your business anymore, that's the consequence of your actions. I believe in the First Amendment, and I think you got every right to say what you want. You got every right to try to make as much money as you can. But when you start, like I said, putting your own pocketbook above the Constitution, well, then I don't care how much you suffer as far as repercussions go for your actions. All right, everyone, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I see you again. I am a grown-ass man.